Hello and welcome, and thanks for clicking on this video. Before I get started and before I dive into this story, I wanted to share that about a week ago, I was on social media and I came across a content creator who was sharing this story, and I found it to be quite fascinating. I watched cartoons when I was younger, but I didn't know the history or the dark secrets behind why cartoon characters wore gloves. It never was a thought in my mind until this content creator shared the dark history behind Mickey's gloves, Disney, and why their characters wear gloves. Like I said before, I thought this was fascinating, so I decided to bring it to my channel. So I just wanted to give a shout out to the original content creator who brought to life this disturbing and dark story. So let's get into it. Picture Mickey Mouse, smiling, waving, his white gloved hands front and center. Those gloves seemed harmless, cute, even timeless. But here's the uncomfortable truth. They aren't just a design choice. They're a direct link to one of the most racist forms of entertainment in American history. To understand why Mickey Mouse wears gloves, we need to return to the world of minstrel shows. But first, hi, I'm Lacey. Thank you for clicking on this video. If you enjoy this type of content, I invite you to subscribe and become a part of our community. Now let's get into it. In the 1800s, minstrel shows were the most popular entertainment in America. White performers painted their faces black, smeared on grotesque features, and exaggerated every moment to mock enslaved and free Black people. One detail became iconic: the white gloves. They made hand gestures visible under the harsh stage lights. But more than that, they humanized grotesque caricatures. Those gloves were not innocent. They were part of a performance built entirely on racist stereotypes. Walt Disney was born in 1901 into a world where minstrelsy hadn't disappeared. It had simply evolved, finding new life in vaudeville theaters, traveling shows, and even comic strips. This was the entertainment young Walt grew up surrounded by. When he later built his empire in animation, he didn't invent something entirely new. He pulled from the visual and comedic traditions already around him, and those traditions were steeped in minstrel imagery. Early animators, Disney included, borrowed directly from minstrelsy. The stretchy rubber hose style of cartoons, which came from the exaggerated, elastic movements of minstrel clowns and performers. The trickery personality, rowdy, anarchist, always stirring trouble, straight out of the minstrel playbook. And the gloves? They were lifted wholesale from the minstrel stage, where they had become a signature look. When Mickey debuted in 1928's Steamboat Willie, his hands were bare. But in 1929, in the Opry House, the gloves appeared. At first, it seemed practical. Gloves made his hands more visible against his black body and dark backgrounds. But that practicality was built on racial coding that audiences had been trained to recognize from minstrel shows. Mickey wasn't just borrowing a style. He was wearing the costume of minstrelsies. This connection wasn't just subtle. In 1933, Disney released Mickey's Melon Drummer. In it, Mickey and his friends put on a minstrel show. They literally painted their faces black and performed in blackface, acting out racist caricatures for laughs. It's one of the clearest examples of how Disney wasn't just influenced by minstrel culture, he reproduced it directly on screen. When Walt first started in Kansas City, working on laughograms, he was scraping by, sometimes even sleeping in his studio. He pulled materials from wherever he could get it: vaudeville acts, slapstick humor, or minstrel gags. These influences traveled with him to Hollywood. Mickey Mouse was built from those traditions. A mischievous, rubber-bodied trickster with gloved hands. Critics point out that Mickey's early personality, anarchist, mischievous, and sometimes cruel, mirrors the minstrel tradition trickery figure. This character was designed to entertain white audiences by exaggerating stereotypes of black behavior. Mickey carried that DNA forward, making it seem cute, harmless, and all-American. But at its core, it was still rooted in racial caricature. Over time, the racist associations of the gloves faded from public memory. To audiences, they became a harmless cartoon. But gloves didn't just solve an animator's problem, they carried the weight of a racist tradition that shaped American entertainment. Even today, characters from Bugs Bunny to Mario carry the echoes of that choice. The visual symbol has been sanitized, but its roots remain. So, the next time you see Mickey's gloved hand waving, remember, it isn't just a design quirk. It's a silent witness to America's history of racial caricatures, a relic of the minstrel stage hidden in plain sight. Walt Disney didn't invent the glove, but by putting them on Mickey, he cemented their place in global culture. Behind every friendly wave lies a reminder that the history of entertainment is never just fun and games. Sometimes, even the smallest details, like a pair of white gloves, tell a story of racism, appropriation, and the shadow that shaped the world's most beloved mouse. If you found this story as captivating as I did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. We will continue to uncover more untold stories from history, stories that reveal the hidden truths of those who lived in the shadows of society's boundaries.